Hello, and welcome to episode 48. This is the Hello, It's Me, IAmKNicole podcast, and I am your host, Nicole. We are going to jump right into today's topic. Today, we are talking about starting a business in 2023. I literally cannot believe that I'm saying that because why is 2023 like tomorrow? That's how it feels. We're already in November. That's actually crazy to me. I feel like this year has flown. That's a word, right? Flew by. What is the word? I'm tipsy, y'all. It's the wine talking. This year has flew by because I don't know if flown is a word right now. This year has really just gone. Like, what is going on? I don't know. But we're going to talk about starting a business in 2023 because, really, it's kind of late, but we can still talk about it because better late than never. And you can really put in some quick planning, quick couple weeks of work, and you can have a business real soon. So let's talk about it. A lot of people have the perception that entrepreneur life is saturated, being your own boss is overrated, or starting a YouTube channel is just not worth it because there's so many content creators out there. And I have to disagree because I just feel like I watch my people on YouTube because I love them and I feel a connection with them, and I'm not going to feel a connection with everybody. So those people were able to cause me to gravitate towards them, and that's why I support them, right? So there's so many people in this world, and starting something digital like YouTube and growing an audience, as hard as it is, it's also a blessing because it's digital. Like, you can reach so many different people in different states, countries, whatever. As long as they have internet, they can see you, they can listen to you, they can support you. So I just feel like there's so many people in this world that there's someone for everyone, right? And I feel like there's so much room at the top for all of us to do what we got to do. So I don't think that it's oversaturated. I just think that a lot of people kind of jumped on the bandwagon. I think that it could be considered oversaturated. Okay, I think it could be, but you don't let that steer you from doing it. Let me say it that way. So yeah, it might be a lot of people out in this industry right now, but that should not discourage you from starting. I'm at a point in my life where it's just like, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to accomplish all my dreams. Like, why not? So I'm really not in the space to let people discourage me from doing what I want. So just because you're doing it doesn't mean that I'm not about to do it. I'm just saying, just because I'm a YouTuber doesn't mean that you can't be one. So I feel like you should never let that be an excuse. One thing that I will say though, start planning and researching. Like, you really need to put in some hours when it comes to the researching. I just hit 3 years in business, and I can vividly remember when I first started planning my business out. I can remember when I decided that I wanted to actually make lip gloss instead of, getting the already manufactured product and just putting my name on it. Like, I remember that day. I remember doing my research and watching so many YouTube videos and searching up all the ingredients and trying to figure out how much everything was going to cost. Like, I spent so much time doing all of that. And that allowed me to make a decision that I was comfortable with. But if I hadn't done all that research, if I didn't see all those videos and see how much everything costed, to see that, hey, yeah, this is something attainable for me, it's realistic, it's something that I can achieve, I would not be here right now. Research is such a huge part of the process. So make sure you plan and research ahead of time so that you can take your time with it. Like, even if you start right now, if you're starting now with your planning, I would say give yourself at least 3 weeks of just straight research. Like, just don't buy anything. Just watch a lot of videos, read up on it, look at the prices of everything, and just crunch numbers. Figure out your ideas, figure out your branding. Like, there's a lot that goes into starting a business that you need to know. So I would say take at least 3 weeks because I took months when I started, but that's because the information that's available today was not available 3 years ago. It was not that many people doing it. that were sharing the information for me to learn it. So now there's people like me who are open and transparent and really trying to help y'all. People like me that have the secret sauce. Go get the secret sauce. Okay. $25 lip gloss formula book. If you're trying to start a lip gloss business, you might be trying to start a different kind of business, but there's people like me now that have these kinds of resources out there available to you, which makes it so much easier for you to start your business. You don't have to spend 3 months doing research on all these things, because I literally just handed you the information. Like, you have it all in one place too, which makes it so easy and so convenient. So I feel like, even if you decide to purchase the secret sauce, really take 3 weeks to go through that whole entire book. It is pages and pages and pages of information. There's links, there's videos, like watch all the videos, watch the exclusive videos, like really sit down and watch it, consume that content, take notes, and then figure out what you want to do. So planning and researching is a part of the process that you do not need to skip. Don't do it. Okay. Please don't do it. My next tip, do what you're passionate about. Y'all listen, it is about to be 2023. Okay. I am sick and tired of people jumping on bandwagons, sick and tired of people trying to get into a business just to make some quick money. Like, no business is making quick money right now. Like, we're about to go into a recession. Okay. There is no quick, easy money if you have not put in the time to really build something and build your audience and grow. Like, there's no quick money. Okay. Just erase that idea. Even if you started a YouTube channel, there's no quick money. Do y'all know the requirements that they have in place now to get a YouTube channel monetized? Like, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. If you're not famous, or if you don't already have a huge following somewhere else, you're going to have to put in the work to grow organically. Like, it's not easy. It's not a fast process. Like, you have to be passionate about it, because if you're not, you're not going to be successful. Like, people can tell when you don't give a shit about something. Like, they can tell when you're just in it for the money. They can tell when you're just in it for short term. They can tell if you're just trying to scam them or whatever. Like, you really have to put in the time. Okay. Put in the time, be passionate about it, do something that you love, because if you don't, it's just going to be a waste of your time in the first place. So right now, everything that I'm doing it because this is the stuff that I love. This is the stuff that I use every single day. This is the stuff that I live by. This is the stuff that I swear by. Like, you really have to put your passion first. Like, you can't just start a business about something that you don't care about because it sounds easy, or because you saw it on TikTok and you saw this person having X amount of views, or they said that they made X amount of money. One thing about it, the internet, okay? Listen, the internet, people on the internet are in control of their own stories. I'm in control of my own story. So y'all know the stuff about me that I want y'all to know about me. You know what I'm saying? I can paint any picture for y'all that I want, but I just happen to be a transparent person, and I am sharing my daily life, my real life. But it's people out here that are saying they did something, saying they made X amount of money, brainwashing y'all, trying to let y'all into this fantasy that they're living because they are chasing a bag. But that does not always sustain. It's like, how do you live your life? Like, are you an actor? Like, are you an actress? Like, how can you keep up with a facade for so long? I don't know, but people do it. People do it every day. That's just not me. I recommend, doing something that you're passionate about. It's going to feel natural. It's going to feel organic, and you're going to have fun doing it versus, trying to live a fake life every single day just to make a check. So be passionate. All right. If you're going to start a business in 2023, I'm going to need you to pick something that you actually love to do, that is going to, benefit somebody else, and it's going to be valuable. Listen. The wine is it. My girl Zaray is in the building. Oh, dang, her glass is empty. Dang, you want some more, girl? You want a refill? Can I get a refill? You want a refill, girl? Do you want a refill? Because I'll do it. Period. Gotta cater to my squad. She said a little bit is cool. Gotta cater to my squad that's helping me in the building. It's one night. Oh my gosh. I was still pouring while I was asking her. Whew, live your best life. Y'all know we always got to have wine on the podcast, or some kind of drink. Ooh. So the one thing that I remember vividly when I was starting my business, I kind of I was on a timeline, I was so excited, and I was like, you know what? I really want to start my business close to the holiday season, November, right? And I was like, oh, let's just do November 1st. Why not, right? So this is June. We're in June. This is summertime. I remember I started in the summertime. That's when I was really starting to plan things out. I had a timeline because I was like, ooh, I could launch. See, I just get these visions inside my head too. And I was like, ooh, I could launch in November with my signature collection, and then I could do my first holiday collection, and it'll be so good, right? So it's nice to create a timeline for yourself so that you have something to go by, so that you kind of have a deadline, so that you have something to actively work towards. It's kind of bad when you're just sporadically doing something, or you're randomly doing stuff. You don't really have intention behind what you're doing, and you don't have a plan or a goal, because then it just gets chaotic. It just gets out of hand, and you really don't ever know if you're actively moving towards your goal or if you're just doing little things here and there. So create a timeline. And I don't care if you get your pen and paper like this and you draw out those little timelines that we used to draw in middle school and put the little tick marks with the dates and the things that you're going to do. I don't care what kind of timeline you make a timeline. Time is so precious, y'all. We don't have time to waste, but planning is everything. So I would say create a timeline. Make sure you give yourself enough cushion to do a little bit of trial and error, even to people that purchase the secret sauce from me, right? I tell them, give yourself time for trial and error, because this is my formula that I'm giving to y'all. And sometimes it's people that have not even shopped from me. I know a lot of people purchase the secret sauce after they try my lip gloss, right? And they love it. They're like, oh my God, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for my business. That's cool. But some people get it and they've never tried my product before. So they don't know what they're getting. They're just going off the video that they saw, going off me talking about it, seeing me mix it, seeing me apply it, seeing somebody else apply it, seeing what it looks like on. They're going on a whim, right? So that's fine too, because I have done that. I have purchased stuff like that. That's almost like buying a perfume online. You can't smell that. You got to be real. You have to be real good on fragrance to read the notes on something to know, yeah, I think I might like that, to purchase something like a perfume online. So y'all are doing that. I'm like, please give yourself time to try this formula and make sure that it's exactly what you want for your business. You need to have some materials set to the side that you can, use for your testers. You don't want to dip into your actual inventory to do testers. You want to have a separate little stash for that. I want you to try it. I want you to mix it a bunch of different times. I want you to let a bunch of different people try it too, to see how they like it, get some feedback. I want you to take that time to do that. Trial and error is everything. I had Zaraya trying the gloss. I had my mom trying the gloss. I had grandma trying the gloss. I had auntie trying the gloss. Auntie don't even freaking wear lip gloss. I got auntie trying the gloss. I got everybody trying this lip gloss. And I'm like, what do you think of this? How does it feel? How does it smell? How does it wear? How long does it last on your lips? How long before it's gone and you have to reapply it? These are things that I need to know as the business owner. I need to know these things so that I can either perfect it or tweak it or whatever. So it was a long process of just trial and error. Once I finally did decide to place my orders and purchase all of the gloss base and the raw materials and the tubes and everything, you really have to give yourself at least a little cushion. So, we got 2 months left in the year. You need to speed it up. Okay. And luckily, there's a lot of resources that you can get on Amazon. There's a lot of resources that you can get from right here in the States. So the shipping is not ridiculous. When I was starting, it was everything from overseas. You'll get some stuff from Amazon, but not the stuff that you actually want, like really, really want, like maybe just like the staple things you'll get. But any of the cool and unique things, you were getting that from overseas, and we were waiting weeks and weeks and weeks for that stuff to come in. But times have changed, and I'm grateful that times have changed. So, you don't have to stress out now if you're just now thinking about starting a business now. I mean, and also too, starting a business in 2023, that doesn't mean that you're starting at the top of the year. Like, everyone doesn't have to start January 1st. So you might have more time than others, depending on when you want to launch. So be realistic with yourself. When do you want to launch your business? How much time do you think that you need to get all this stuff done? Because you're going to have to get all this stuff done. That's one thing about it. You're going to have to do all the things. I remember, oh my goodness, story time real fast. First of all, when I first started my business, I ordered so much stuff. Like, I spent so much unnecessary money. Like, I had a ridiculous amount of things because I was like, okay, I have this collection, and then I want to do my Christmas collection right after. So I had my signature tubes that I wanted to use, and then I had my tubes that I wanted to use for my holiday collection. I did not know how to fill a wand tube, you guys. Like, I literally was about to lose my mind because I'm trying to fill these tubes. I'm filling them all the way up to the top. They're bursting. Like, I have tubes that are literally breaking. Like, the bottom is busting out. And I was like, oh my God. I only ordered X amount of tubes because I've never ordered from this vendor before. This is kind of like my trial, but not really my trial, because this, like, I'm telling y'all, do as I say, not as I do. Because that was like me ordering the stuff, but that was my actual inventory. So I'm trying it, but it's also my actual inventory. So as I'm trying to fill these tubes up, I'm breaking them. Like, I broke probably like 20 tubes trying to learn how to fill a wand tube, which, I mean, for one, it's like, this is not the best quality of tube if it's breaking just from having too much product in it. But yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. And now we know you don't fill a wand tube all the way up to the top because you got to put a stopper in it, right? So it's just like, you live and you learn, right? But you have to give yourself time for that kind of stuff to happen, because those were 20 tubes that I ruined that could have possibly been part of my inventory, or, those are, it just could have been better. Like, if I would have planned to test 20 tubes, cool. If I broke all of them, fine. But just to order them and have that actually be my inventory, that's a little bit upsetting and a little discouraging to waste 20, so just plan for trial and error, plan for that time to like just play around. And if something goes wrong, that's fine. It's not a big deal. That is the point of the planning process and the trial and error process. But I didn't give myself a lot of that time. I gave myself more time with mixing than I did filling. I thought filling was going to be the easy part because I thought, it's just going to take me the longest to figure out a formula and to figure out, how to perfect this. But the mixing, the lip gloss, was actually the easy part for me. So you just never know what life is going to be like when you are starting a business. So you just want to be safe rather than sorry. I'm always seeming to work on crunch time. It doesn't matter what we're doing. I'm always on crunch time for some reason. So yeah, I just would say give yourself that space to do that, trial and error. And also, you got to be real with yourself. Like, I was so real with myself when I first started. I was like, all right, I have X amount of followers, but I also know a lot of people in real life, and I had just graduated college. So I was like, okay, I have a lot of people that are supporting me. I have a lot of people that are trying to see what I'm doing next. So I know that if I launch a business, that I will have a decent amount of support behind me. So sometimes knowing people in real life is better than knowing people on the internet. But then other times, knowing people on the internet is like better than knowing people in real life. It just fluctuates, right? Because you would think like, oh my God, yeah, if I have like 100,000 subscribers, I have all these virtual people that'll support me, that will, watch my content, that will shop my business, or that will, support other brands that I'm promoting. But when you're starting something new, it's like, I know all these people in real life that will actually help me to grow this thing, help me promote it, word of mouth. I mean, I feel like word of mouth, like in person, is still like the best marketing. I don't care what anybody else says, because I mean, I know that it's 2022, about to be 2023, and we're in an e-commerce world. But when you go to the store and you talk to a salesperson and you see something that you like and they're telling you about the product, they're letting you see it, they're letting you smell it, especially makeup. Oh my God. Go in Sephora and these girls really know what they're doing and what they're talking about. Oh, they're going to make you buy it. Like word of mouth, face-to-face marketing is like still top tier, like the best kind of marketing that there is. So I feel like that was really what actually helped give me that boost when I first started my business, because I didn't have a huge online following at that time. Like, I just really didn't. So I was realistic with myself in a sense that I was like, okay, I feel like I will have a certain amount of support, but I'm also not about to sit here and make like 1,000 lip glosses just to launch my business. And even looking back, I made way too much. And I talk about this all the time. Like, I made way too much. I didn't plan out my launch well enough. Like, looking back on it, it was so random. It was so sporadic. It was just like, yep, I have all these colors that I came up with and the scents and everything, but I didn't know how to fill the tube. So I wasted X amount. So now I just have this much left. And that, to me, that is insane. So I had like 10 of these, 12 of those, 5 of these, 3 of those, 20 of these. Like, it was so crazy because it was all over the place. That is not how you plan. You plan for your testers and you plan for your inventory, and then your inventory is your inventory. And have equal amount of inventory. Give everything a fair chance. Don't go into it like, oh, I think this is going to be the best. Because, girl, I played myself. I thought clear was going to be the most popular thing, and it's just not. It's really not. It was not at the time. So, listen, don't play yourself. If you're not famous, you don't need a ton of inventory to start, okay? If you're not, about to start your business and then purchase a shade room ad, then you don't need 2,000 units, okay, to start with. Just let me be real with you. You don't need that much. Launch your business with a reasonable amount of inventory and see how it goes. Like, you got to see how it's going to go. You got to see what's going to sell. You got to see what's going to be your best seller, because you're really not going to know. You're not going to know until you start, until you try, until you get into it. So, yeah. I have so many stories from when I first started my business. It was actually crazy. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to use the syringe for real. Like, it was so crazy. But I look back on that after being in business for 3 years. It's like, wow, I have really learned a lot, and I have come a long way from then, because you start off not knowing what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you're making like 300 lip glosses in one day. Life is wild. Okay. Life is actually crazy. So I would say, start that business. Like, stop. We have to like get out of our heads. Like, I realize that we have to get out of our heads. I am my biggest critic. I am an overthinker. I am a perfectionist. All of those things combined is a recipe for disaster. Okay. But somehow, some way, your girl is out here shining and on camera and creating new products and just really doing exactly what I want to do. It's definitely a journey. It definitely takes a village. Like, I have realized, like, I really cannot do this by myself. Even if I really wanted to, even if I tried, it's just not going to be as good if I try to do it by myself. But needing help should not stop you. I feel like we are the kings and queens of creating excuses, procrastinating, kind of almost like belittling ourselves, like talking down on ourselves, not thinking we're good enough. Like, there's a lot of things that we go through mentally that stop us from doing the things that we want to do, the things that we love to do. And I just feel like that is not how life should be at all. We should be confident in ourselves. We should take a leap of faith on ourselves. We should, do those things that make us happy. Life is just too short, y'all. Life is way too short to not do what you love. You better do what you're passionate about too, okay? Because don't play with me. Don't play. Don't be out here starting a lip gloss business knowing good and well that you don't wear no lip gloss. Knowing good and well that you do not wear lip gloss. How you gonna sell that product? I'll wait. How you gonna sell me lip gloss if you don't wear it? You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all see Kim Kardashian, for example? Everybody hates on the Kardashians, but these girls are smart, okay? Y'all see her in all her products. Y'all see her in Skims all the time. Skims does like a new launch every week. That is crazy to me. But I mean, it's a huge business or whatever. But it's like, if Kim did not wear these clothes, we would not buy them. At the end of the day, I don't care how many models they have. I don't care how many campaigns they do. If we did not see her if we did not see her wear these products, we would not buy them. And I had to learn that with my business, because I was always just like, oh, I have so much going on right now. Like, I have a lot going on. Oh my God, I have to work. I have to clean the house. I have to do this. I have to do that. I don't have time to like get glam and get on camera and make content. I'm just going to get some ambassadors. I'm just going to get, all my friends to put this on and take pictures and send it to me, and I'm going to post them. That's fine to do that. And it was literally my mom that told me. She's like, girl, they love your friends and everything, but they want to see you put that lip gloss on. They want to see you put that shag on. They want to see you put that hat on. Y'all see me? Crochet by K in the building. I get it. It's my platform. It's my audience. It's the connection that we have with each other. So I can understand why y'all would want to see me in the product. Like, you want to see me. It's cool to see other people, but I'm the face of the business. So I get why y'all would want to see me in the product. So that's why it's like, if you are trying to start a business with something that you don't know much about, it's going to be harder for you to sell that to somebody else, because that's just not the name of the game. You got to be knowledgeable, and you have to actually wear it, constantly promote it, and show people why it's good. Like, you're going to be the most knowledgeable person on your own product, and you're going to be the one that's able to market it the best. So, I mean, it just makes sense, right? It just makes sense. So here I am after a full work day at 8:00 at night, fully glam thanks to Zaraya. Go follow my girl. And in my Crochet by K beanie, because I mean, who else is going to sell these beanies? Yes, I have ambassadors. Yes, I have people that are going to put it on, but who is going to sell your product like you? That's one thing about it. You are going to show up for yourself like nobody else will, because this is your thing. This is your baby. This is your blood, sweat, and tears. This is your hands that made it. This is your baby. This is your pride and joy. So nobody's going to do it like you. Nobody going to sell it like you. And you just have to realize that. And that's something that you really need to think about if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur and you don't know, what kind of product you want to launch or what you want to do. Like, you need to think about what you love to do, what you can sell to somebody, what can add value to other people's lives. People are not buying things that's not going to add value to their life. They're not going to buy something that they don't like. They're not going to buy something that they don't think is cute. They're not going to buy something that they're not going to use. Like, they're going to buy something that is going to make them feel fulfilled and make them feel like they spent their money on something good. So just a little food for thought, something to think about, something to ponder about. What else do you need starting a business in 2023? But just be ready to be on the internet. I mean, it just seems like we're in such a digital wave. Like, you got to be ready to create some content. You got to create some content. You got to do some photo shoots. You got to do some video shoots. You got to be active on social media. You got to be ready for all the things. Like, I don't think that right now having a business can happen without being a content creator. And people, like, when you say content creator, they're like, oh no, like, no. I'm like, okay, well, you might not be a YouTuber. You might not be vlogging your whole life like how I am, But if you have a business and you're taking product shots and you're making reels and you're a content creator, babes. If you're making TikToks, you're a TikToker, babes. Okay. Even if it's just promoting your business, you don't have to be on TikTok dancing. You don't have to be TikTok famous for doing something or be famous for starting a trend or whatever. If you are on a platform creating content and posting consistently, you are a content creator. Okay. Add it to your resume. Like, add it to your portfolio, because that is what you're doing. So, I mean, whether it's for personal or for business, you're still creating the content. And that's just that on that. So you got to be ready to be on the internet. You got to be ready to, open yourself up to judgment. You have to be ready to receive feedback. You have to learn how to accept feedback from people. People are going to have their opinions. When you start a business, you're creating a product for somebody. You are selling something to somebody. They spent their hard-earned money. They're going to speak their mind. They're going to want a good experience. If they don't have a good experience, they're going to let you know, hey, this wasn't a good experience. You have to be ready to deal with all of that, So yeah, it's a lot that comes with it. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a content creator. I'm a podcaster. I'm an influencer. I have all these titles, but when it comes to entrepreneurship alone, I am every single department that every big business has. I am your customer service person. I am your fulfillment person. I am the person that creates the website, keeps the website updated, and takes all the content, photographer, videographer. I am the person that keeps up with the inventory, does inventory. I remember when I worked for Urban Outfitters and we had to do inventory. I only did inventory one time when I worked there. And I swear to God, I would never work retail again. I was like, oh, I'm never doing this again. Doing inventory for a large business, it was so painful. I was just like, yo, we had to come to the store after closing. So this is like super late at night. Literally, there was no talking. We could not speak. No communicating, no speaking at all. We had a section of the floor that we had to count. Okay. And this is a store that is so highly susceptible to theft. Like it's crazy, right? So we had to sit there and count. It was the most brutal thing that I've ever had to do for like 5 hours. I was like, yeah, never again. Okay. I'm doing the inventory, and me doing inventory is so much smoother than that process. But again, we don't have this, huge conglomerate, this huge business or whatever. So it's fine. But all of the things that happen for a big business, we're doing those things. So you have to be ready to wear multiple hats. Okay. I should just like switch out my beanies every time I start doing a different task around the businesses, because it's so crazy. And it's not really like a set structure all the time. Like if something starts happening, or if a customer is emailing me, like I'm on emails, I'm on customer service, I'm on, marketing, I'm on fulfillment, I'm doing all these things. If all of a sudden while I'm working on orders that I'm seeing an email from a customer and a customer needs help, I have to stop what I'm doing with this so that I can help that customer, right? I have set hours. Yeah, we operate Monday through Friday. That's cool. But I am prioritizing my customers because I want to have good customer service. I want to, give people the best experience that I possibly can. You have to think about all those things when you're creating your business. You have to consider, how do you want to run your business? How do you want people to know your business? Like, think about all the big businesses that you support. Think about a Chick-fil-A. Think about Chick-fil-A customer service. People just go to Chick-fil-A for the customer service. Like, do y'all even like the food? Do y'all like the fries? Do y'all like the sauce? Do y'all like the chicken? Or y'all just going because it's going to be a pleasant experience. Y'all know that this might be the longest line out of all the fast food places, but this is the line that's going to be moving the fastest because they have their shit together, because they're on top of their customer service, because they pay attention to their customers. They're listening to their customers and what they're ordering. They're reading your order back to you accurately. They're telling you how much it costs. They're not just telling you, all right, yeah, you can pull around. Pull around? I could pull around. What is my total, babes? Did you get my order correct? Are we joking? Like, people will pay for an experience, and that's something that I have learned. Like, even me, like, I want to experience certain things. I'm ready and willing to spend extra money for something, knowing that I'm going to have a good experience. So you have to sit down and really figure out, what kind of experience are you going to give your customers? It's something to truly think about. You have to think about the packaging. You have to think about, are you doing physical products? Are you doing digital products? Are you going to do a mix of both? What kind of platforms do you want to use to sell your products? You want to make a whole website? Are you going to make your website? Are you going to get a graphic designer? Are you going to make your logo? Like, there's so many things that go into creating a business and starting a business. So you have a lot to think about. And I just want to say that I offer business consulting, okay? Because I know that it's hard if it's not something that you are very knowledgeable about. It's hard when you don't know where to start and you don't know where to look as far as researching. Researching is hard. I learned that in high school and college when we had research papers and stuff like that. Like, it's really hard to source information and to know that you're getting your information from a good source. Like, y'all remember writing papers in high school, college, like when you have to actually list your sources at the end. Like, it took me a long time to really learn how to find valuable information. So I can understand how some of y'all don't know even where to start when it comes to researching for your business. So that's why I have my mentorship program. That's why I have business consulting readily available to you guys, because I know it's tough. And I wish that stuff like that was available right when I was first starting, and it just wasn't. Like, that wasn't a thing. I had to do my own research and figure out a lot of stuff by myself. There were a couple of people that I was watching on YouTube that were able to kind of lead me in the right direction. But like I said, a lot of people were not giving straight up answers or giving straight information. It was kind of like, oh yeah, we're just going to dance around this topic a little bit, and then, that's it. And I get it. Like, you put in your time, you want to protect that. You want to, keep that to yourself or whatever the case may be. But for me, I was just like, you know what? I want to make the secret sauce. I want to make digital files that, I can feel like I got compensated for doing the research that I did, but I'm also able to help other people and other upcoming business owners for a reasonable and attainable price. It's not like I'm charging y'all out the ass. Like, I'm not over here saying, yep, $500 for my course right now. No, like, I get this economy. I know what time we are living in. And my main goal in life is really just to motivate and inspire and to help other people. And that's what I'm doing. Living my best life. That's what I'm doing. And I'm so happy that I'm able to help y'all. And I'm happy that I'm able to, give y'all these resources, because like I said, when I started 3 years ago, and 3 years might not sound like a long time, but life has changed so much in just 3 years. So I will have everything linked down below for y'all. Business consulting, secret sauce, my digital files. I have one on branding. I have one on how to start a wholesale lip gloss business, if that is what you are looking into doing. Okay, I will have everything linked down below. I pride myself in, sharing my life, sharing my experiences, especially as an entrepreneur, because I don't want y'all to make the same mistakes that I made. That's why I'm here. That's why I started when I did. That's why this is my journey. I went through what I went through, and I made those mistakes and I learned from those mistakes. But if I can help somebody else not make that same mistake, that's a blessing for me. That's what I want to do. I want to help y'all out. So click the links down below and grab your digital files and get started. Like, no better time to do anything besides now. Okay. Don't procrastinate. Life is too short. Do what you love. Period. That's all I can say. All right, let's get into some questions really quickly. Questions from the squad. And just to let y'all know y'all can leave questions in the comment section. You can email me questions. You can DM me questions. I usually don't see a lot of DMs, so maybe comment on a picture and leave your questions there. But the easiest way is just to comment on the podcast videos on YouTube and leave your questions so that we can answer them on the show. First question I got is, how do you know what to start a business in? And I feel like we kind of talked about that already. It needs to be something that you're passionate about. It needs to be something, I want to say relevant, but at the same time, it's just like there are people that have been so innovative and so creative with their business concepts and their products. And sometimes you just don't know that you need something until you see it. I feel like there's been a lot of cool stuff that's popped up on TikTok that is like, wow, like we really don't need this, but it looks cool. It looks great. It will enhance our lives in some way. And we just go for purchasing it. So I would just say, as long as it's something that you love and you're passionate about it and you're ready to sell it and you're ready to be 1,000% knowledgeable in that thing, go for it. When should someone need to register their business legally? Legality. Ooh, the law. Delicious. Wow. Honestly, I think that is something that you can start in the beginning. The legal process when it comes to business is like, it's a long process. It's a long journey of things that you have to do. So when you first start your business, I feel like the easiest thing that you can do is register your business as an LLC. You can go ahead and get your EIN number if you want to do that. If you want to, use that to shop wholesale or do whatever, you're going to have an EIN number to shop with certain wholesalers, like in person. If you want to go to a warehouse, if you want to go to a lab, if you want, like there's in-person things that you're going to need different documentation for, right? So with me, I didn't need an EIN number to shop what I'm shopping, shop with my vendors that I'm shopping with. But, it's easy at the beginning to do an LLC, to get your EIN number. Your business is registered in your state legally. Okay. You need to make sure that your name is not utilized anywhere else. That is a huge piece of research that you need to do at the beginning. And just make sure that in your state, it's going to be legal for you to create that business, because that's the first step of it. And then, after that is like, your next step is trademarking and copywriting and stuff that gets a little bit more intricate and complicated. And I always told myself that, I do want to be knowledgeable in a lot of different things and I'm constantly learning. But at the same time, I am the type of person that if I can bring in help that's going to lift a weight off of my shoulders, I will. If I can have an accountant to keep up with my expenses and my income and everything so that I can have a smoother time doing my taxes, I will. If I can hire a lawyer that can explain all of this legal shit to me, because it's like, have y'all ever read a contract? Like, I started working with brands and reading contracts, and I'm like, bro, they don't teach you this in high school. They don't teach you this in college. They don't teach you how to read a contract. I feel like I'm in school all over again. I'm like, what does this even mean? If I can have people in my life that can help me with stuff like that, please, more than happy to do that, So I would say, if you are having questions or thoughts about, the legality of your business and when to register and when to do certain things, you should, one, do your research, but also don't hesitate to ask for help, because bringing in professionals to help you with stuff that you're not 1,000% confident in is always going to be better, to make sure that things get done right and to make sure that you don't run into any issues down the line. That's one thing that I would hate. Like, you would put in so much work and then down the line and you try to trademark or you try to do something and then boom, like you can't do it, or you run into issues, or you might have to tweak something. I would rather, to know that ahead of time if possible. But that's just me. That's just what I can say. I am not great when it comes to the legal side of things. I have people to help me with that, because babes, I struggled to read an influencer contract the first time I saw one, which is understandable the first time you see something. But I mean, just the legal world in general is like, it's a crazy space to be in. How to handle when people attempt to copy your business ideas. Ooh, let me take a sip to that. Listen, I always wanted to be a trendsetter when I was younger. They don't call me influencer for nothing. Listen, when you create an image for yourself and you start to gain a following and you start to, build an audience and you start to gain a connection with people, people are going to want to be like you. And that is just kind of part of the territory. People are going to try to copy you. And one thing that you have to always remember is that the real ones will know who did it first. The real ones will know who the OGs are. The real ones are going to support you. They're going to ride for you regardless. There's really nothing you can do to stop a person from copying you. I'm such a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And I know that, the universe is going to take care of everybody. Okay. So if you decide that you want to blatantly steal my idea, and try to do it for your business, I mean, come on now. It'll never be me. Just like if I try to copy somebody else, I will never be them. People are different. Everyone is different. So you trying to copy something that I did with my two hands, it's not. I'm crying. She's got to go. Okay. Doing something that I made with my two hands, trying to copy me, is not going to come out the same way. And that's just a moral of the story. And that's just something that you have to accept. You have to know that you really can't control what other people are doing. Now, when you get bigger, okay, when you blow up, like if this is a Kim Kardashian type situation and somebody is trying to rip off Skims, oh, she's going to sue. Okay, we're going to court, legal again. So I think that when you're a small entrepreneur, you have a small business and there are people that are trying to copy you, let it roll off your back. I mean, what are you going to do? And I've had that happen, maybe 2 or 3 times since I've been in business. It's really not as common as you would think within 3 years. And I've only had 2 or 3 instances. That's really not that bad. I feel like people have realized that, they want to do something for themselves and they kind of try to be creative about it. I think we're getting a lot better with stuff like that. So that's just how I feel about that one. But I mean, no one can ever do it like you. That's just that on that, It's the wine that's making me burp and all kinds of jazz going on, all kinds of stuff going on in here. All right. What's the best way someone can promote their business? This is the last question that we have. Like I was saying, wear your stuff. Talk about your stuff. Always talk about your stuff. Right now, it's fall time and you're not going to see me outside without this beanie on. I'm just saying, every time that I go out, when I went out of town, I went home to Jersey this past weekend, I'm wearing my beanies. Okay. And if I'm going out to like a more upscale formal event or something where I can just go outside and wear a shag, yeah, I'm going to wear a shag. Wear your products, promote your products. Don't be scared to talk about your products. I feel like a lot of people are a little bit intimidated or a little bit nervous to talk to people about their stuff, but plug it up. I'm that type of person. Like if I'm out and I compliment you, give me a business card. You know what I'm saying? And I am, just always constantly getting better at that. Cause sometimes it's like, oh my God, I'm out of breath. I'm in the grocery store. I'm tired. I'm carrying water. I'm doing this. And somebody's like looking at me like, hey, your hat's nice. And I'm like, oh my God, thanks. I don't feel like reaching into my bag, putting everything down and getting a business card. But sometimes those are the moments that you block your own blessing when you don't speak to somebody that's giving you a compliment in real life about your product. So I try to be good about always keeping business cards on me. Cause like I said, word of mouth is honestly the best thing. Everybody that I have seen recently that hasn't seen me in a long time or hasn't seen me in person with one of my beanies on, they're like, yeah, I'm so happy I saw you in person because this looks great. And that entices people to want to buy it more. Digital is great. Pictures are great. Videos is great. But seeing it in real life, it's something about seeing it in real life, especially the shag. When they see that shag in real life, they see the motion, they see the drama, they want to buy it. Like when I get to the pop-up shops, vendor events and stuff, they want to purchase it. So you really just have to wear your product, constantly talk about it, constantly promote it. Don't not talk about your product. If someone asks you a question, you need to be knowledgeable enough to answer their question and talk about it. That's just that on that. That's the mood for today. That's just that on that. That's how you promote. That's the best way to promote. I mean, the best way, because you're the face of your business. They want to hear it from you. It's great, like I said earlier, have other people to help you, but it's really all about you and how you rock it. So I told myself, look, beanies, all fall in winter. Go get yours. The link is down below. All of my links are down below. Make sure you follow me on all of my social media platforms. Connect with me. Comment on my stuff. I'm starting to do random giveaways. So, I mean, y'all need to really be active. Let me know what's up. If you have any other questions, any other topics, let me know in the comments down below on YouTube. I'm excited to be here, y'all. I love y'all. And I will have everything linked down below as usual. Like I said, from my crochet pieces to my business consulting and my mentorship, in case you are really serious and ready to start a business in 2023 and you don't know where to start, or you need a little bit of assistance, your girl is here to help. Okay. So yeah, subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Don't sleep on me and my beanie, because I'm cute today. Looking real cute, feeling real cute, feeling real nice because of that wine. What else do I need to say? Oh my God. Follow me on the gram. Follow my personal Instagram, please. Personal Instagram. Follow me on all the Instagrams. Everything is down below. I will have my Girls Array link down below too, because if you need your makeup done and you're in Atlanta, I mean, hit my girl up. Okay. Thank you so much. I love y'all. I will see y'all in episode 49.